All right, folks, and we welcome you back. And joining us now is Ryan Mauro, a national security analyst, a fellow with the Clarion Project, and author of a great piece. Actually, a couple of pieces I want to put together. And welcome, Ryan. Glad you are aboard, sir.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right, first of all, you wrote a great piece about the head of state of Egypt. Also happens to be the head of the military, and a guy that Obama would like to see ousted and replaced with the the anti-Christian, anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist, anti-Israel bigot Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood. But that's not going to happen. And General El-Sisi, you quoted something that he said about Islam, which is profound and really should have us all breathing a sigh of relief, but especially the folks around Israel. Tell us what he said.
Right, this is really amazing, and this is the type of thing that gets you killed in the Muslim world. What he basically called for was a reformation in Islam. He said that the religious discourse of Islam has been frozen for the past 800 years and that it needs to be renewed. So basically what he's saying is that the scholarly determinations that Muslims are not allowed to violate and are not allowed to go against are not to be held as the word of God today. And that's very profound. So that allows for people to debate the mainstream Islamic theology in a way that has never happened before, if this is followed.
Right, right. And you point out that in his speech, he did not blame the West. He did not say Zionism. He did not even pinpoint Al-Qaeda. He talked about Islam in the context you just mentioned it in general, which is that's why it's so shocking and profound.
Right, because it's the ultimate rebuttal to extremist propaganda. Generally, when you talk about the problems of the Muslim world, who is it blamed on? It's blamed on the Jews or the corrupt leaders or Muslims not acting Muslim enough, not being religious enough. And we here in the West have understood that there's a problem within how Islam is being taught throughout the Muslim world, that there needs to be a reformation. And to have the leader of Egypt come out and say, look, the problem isn't any of that. The problem is the discourse and the fact that there's not a renewed interpretation, and that's really amazing to see. So hopefully it starts a trend.
Well, let me talk about let me juxtapose this, Ryan, with another piece that you put on the Clarion Project .org, and that is after Obama's State of the Union, talking about how he believes that Islamic terrorists are driven by Western injustice. Talk about what you heard in that State of the Union that led you to that conclusion, and of course the obvious problem that presents going forward.
Right, there is a fundamental misunderstanding of what drives radical Islam by the Obama administration. They basically view this Al-Qaeda and other Islamic terrorist attacks as a response to perceived American aggression. And we could tell that in the State of the Union address, because President Obama said that long-term Western military engagements basically act as a recruiting tool for Al-Qaeda because they anger the local populations. He said that the drone strikes are going to be scaled back because that causes anti-Americanism. Whereas the truth is that this anti-Americanism and even these grievances that terrorists often tout actually stem from Islam being frozen in time for the past 800 years, as General El-Sisi said. Their political views stem from adherence to this medieval Sharia law that says that Western governments are inherently corrupt and oppressive, and that's the core problem.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're right on target. And, of course, one has to wonder what's going on in Barack Obama's head when it comes to his favoring the Muslim Brotherhood over the current government in Egypt and statements like this. And it's just not going to get any better. Ryan, always great to talk to you, sir. We'll read you at clarionproject.org, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan Mauro.